Hi, my name is Max Fortis, and I work on the product team here at Quiq. Today I'm going to be showing how Quiq is leveraging large language models and generative AI to build out the next generation of conversational AI assistants that are more helpful for your customers and more helpful for your business. I'm going to be walking through examples today in the context of a sample whitewater rafting site we have set up here. And we're going to start by showing how we can leverage generative AI to provide more personalized and contextual answers to the sort of frequently asked questions that an assistant might be deployed to handle. So let's go ahead and start with something straightforward here. So what do I need to bring for the trip? Now, all of the answers we're going to see here are going to be pulled from Quicksilver rafting data sources. So that's going to be our website, our knowledge base, our product catalog, things like that. And although each answer is personalized, if I ask something like, who was the 35th president, so something that we can almost guarantee is not going to be in our knowledge base, even if the LLM could technically answer that, because it's not in our knowledge base, it's not on our website, you can see we're not generating a response for that, or we'll guide that customer back towards what we can help them with. So let's try something else. My brother is a big nature buff. Is there good sightseeing along the way? Now, one really awesome thing is that every answer is personalized, right? So we're mentioning my brother here. Your brother will have plenty of opportunities to take in the sights and appreciate the natural wonders of the area. So you get a response that's much closer to what a helpful agent would give versus a static answer from your FAQ. So let's try something a bit more complicated. Thinking of bringing my two kids as well. I'll put the kids' ages in there, age 2 and 4. How long of a trip should we do? Now, what should happen here, so the age limit is actually 6. So even though that information is available about trip length and things like that, because the children aren't old enough, our LLM is not going to generate an answer for that. So let's try it again. I'm thinking of bringing my two kids on the trip. We'll do age 10 and 7 this time. How long of a trip should we do? So kind of an example of a simple guardrail where, hey, if the passengers aren't going to be eligible for the trip, we're not going to answer questions about it. Okay, awesome. So once again, now a really personalized answer. So we think a whole day trip would be awesome with your kids age 10 and 7. Gives me information about what I'm going to see, what they're going to provide. But I don't see anything about life jackets. So let me go ahead and ask that. Okay, great. So they provide life jackets. Thanks. My wife wants to make sure all of the guides know CPR since our kids are coming. And so we get a nice personalized answer there that all the guides know CPR for safety of all our guests, including children. And to kind of drive this home, this personalization point, let's try something else. I'm thinking of planning a corporate event. One of the requirements my company has is that all the guides are CPR certified. So both these questions are kind of pulling from the same knowledge base article, but I'm getting a personalized response based on the question I asked. So in the first example, it was kids here. It's about an event I'm throwing, so I get which meets the requirement for your corporate event, which is awesome. So once again, feels like the assistant's talking to me, versus past me and just giving me the same static answer that I get regardless of my situation. So let's try, okay, awesome. So where did the tours leave from? And what time should we get there? So kind of a two-part question. I'll throw in something about my son as well. So these answers could be in two different knowledge base articles. This could throw a previous generation assistant for a loop here. But because we're looking through all articles, we're able to craft a personalized response, letting me know both when and where that trip's going to leave from. But they didn't give me the address, so let me ask specifically. And once again, we've got context, so it knows I'm asking about the address where the trips leave from, not the address of our headquarters or something else like that. So hopefully this was helpful in seeing how we can use generative AI to build and deploy more helpful assistants that are able to handle the sort of routine, frequently asked questions that companies typically use automation for. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to showing how we can use LLMs and generative AI for a more goal-directed experience. So different from FAQ handling, a goal could be anything from helping a customer reschedule a furniture delivery, adding a check bag to their flight, buying the right wedding ring, or in our case, helping customers pre-sales book a rafting trip. So let's go ahead and get started. My son is turning 6 and we'd like to take him on his first rafting trip for his birthday. Is he old enough? So a couple parts to this question: get a personalized response back. Your son is old enough. Awesome. So I'll go ahead and start that reservation. What date? I'm going to give it kind of a range here. So let's say we're thinking the first week of July. So once again, it's able to take this kind of free-form text and figure out, okay, here are the actual dates that apply. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's do the 2nd. So once again, it knows we're talking about July here, and it's going to know that we mean the 2nd. Great, thank you for letting me know you'd like to go rafting July 2nd. How many people? How much does it cost actually? So now I'm going to kind of throw it off its path and ask something unrelated. So it's going to give me the cost there, but then it's going to keep me crucially on this same path and redirect me back to how many people. So I'll go ahead and say it'll be the 3 of us, my wife, my son, and I. And this is something that a previous generation bot would really struggle with, is answering a frequently asked question, then redirecting me back to that flow I was on. So I'll go ahead and say, actually, my wife just said my son is going to bring a friend. So throwing in another curveball here. Thank you for letting me know your wife will bring a friend. So once again, redirecting me back, and we'll see in a moment, it's actually going to take that and make sure it updates our reservation. So let's do an afternoon trip. Okay, awesome. So it needs full name and email and phone number. So I'll give it part of that information. Okay, my name is Max Fortis. My email is max@Quiq. And it should know that it didn't get a phone number. So once again, able to take freeform input and kind of collect the right structured information back. Okay, cool. 5555. Okay, a confirmation. It's got all the people there: my wife, my son's friend, and me. I'll go ahead and finish that reservation. And you can see here, I'm going to pay right in thread, and I've got 4 tickets. So I was able to take all of that input and know that that was 4 people. Go ahead and enter a dummy credit card number. So this is using our Quiq Pay framework here. So just paying in line, and this is going to work across any messaging channel. We're doing web chat here, obviously. Typo on San Francisco. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to get that complete payment in thread, and then kind of a confirmation of my trip, and I'll be able to get updates via text. So now let's try something different. I'm going to end this conversation, and let's imagine I'm coming back now, and I want to make a change to that reservation, or a previous reservation. So let's go ahead and say, can I make a change to my reservation? I'll throw in some additional information. Unfortunately, my son had an activity on July 2nd, so we need to move it to July 8th. So giving it a bunch of information, asking for a change, telling it what's going on, and then asking for the new date as well. So first, because I just started the new session, we'll need to sign in. So I've got some dummy account information I'll enter real quick. Okay, so once again, logged in, understood I need to move from the 2nd to the 8th, and it's just asking me to confirm that. So once again, I was able to collect all the information, prompt the login, remember that, and then reconfirm it. So I'll say that looks good from my end, thanks. Okay, awesome. So easily able to come in, ask my question, in one shot log in, and then correct my booking. I'll go ahead and say that was helpful. And then let's try something else. So we saw that first example there. I gave it a bunch of information, threw some curveballs, but we can also just give it everything it needs up front to go ahead and book a trip, and it can extract all of that effectively. So let's kind of give it everything it needs to book a trip at once here. So I need to make a reservation for, let's do 6 people on July 14th. In the morning. My name is Max Fortis, so I'll give it name, I'll give it email. And we'll give it the phone number too, so it should have everything it needs here. Okay, cool. So it got all that. Half day for 6 people on July 14th. Awesome. So now we've just got that payment right away. So whether it's more drawn out back and forth with some curveballs in there, or whether it's giving it a lot of information at once, LLMs make it really effective to handle all sorts of different goal-directed flows. In this case, booking a rafting trip, and able to handle things in a really conversational way that a previous generation of bot might have struggled with. But with generative AI, we're able to build and deploy an experience that's closer to what you'd get from a really helpful sales agent who's able to answer questions, keep you on the right track, and ensure that you do eventually make that whitewater rafting booking. So let's end by talking about, at a high level, some of the unique risks that generative AI or large language models present that are maybe different than some of the risks with the previous generation of automated assistants. At a high level, these fall into 3 categories. So the first is going to be accuracy of responses. So how do we ensure that if we're generating a response, it's accurate, the information being provided to the customer is truthful. Data and privacy security. So how do we ensure the information that we use in the LLM for helping find answers, and then any information our customers enter isn't being used to train the large language model or being exposed in some way that we don't like. And then brand tone and brand safety. So not just are we giving accurate responses, but do those responses reflect our brand and the way we want our brand to be communicating with customers. We're going to run through each one of these at a high level. If you want to learn more about any of these, we've got a bunch of great resources on our website at quiq.com. And you can also reach out to us from our website to learn more about any specific challenges or areas of interest for your business if you'd like to learn more. So let's start with accuracy of responses. So, how do I ensure that the responses that are generated are truthful and accurate? We've got a really thorough conversational design, solutions engineering, and prompt engineering process in place that ensures that your AI assistant is only referencing your company-specific data, whether that's your knowledge base, your company website, your product catalog, any other internal resources that you want to expose to us. So this ensures that basically as long as your business information is up to date and accurate, the responses from your assistant will be as well, because that's the only place it's looking for answers. The second one on data and privacy security. So Quiq has commercial agreements with OpenAI and any other LLM provider that we use that specifies that your data will only be used for business purposes and not for training. Secondly, all the LLMs that Quiq uses are covered by our SOC 2 compliance, which states that we'll never use our clients' data for any other purposes other than to provide the Quiq service. So that means that any stories you may have heard about a commercial LLM showing sensitive company information because someone entered it on a consumer-facing site, that doesn't apply here, and that won't happen when you leverage Quiq to deploy generative AI. And then lastly, brand tone and safety. So not just am I giving the correct response, but does it match the tone and feel of my company? So we use a bunch of state-of-the-art techniques here, kind of outlined in accuracy of responses, input cleansing, safety checks, guardrails, and content filtering to ensure that we're not giving any off-brand answers, and customers can't get the LLM to say strange things or generate incorrect responses. And then during implementation, we'll work really closely with you to make sure that the brand persona and brand voice is accurately being reflected in the responses, and we can tweak accordingly. So once again, that's a high-level overview of how Quiq is working to address key risks present with generative AI. If you'd like to learn more, once again, please reach out, and thanks for watching.